Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Breaking and Entering. I'm one of your hosts, Enoch McKee.
I'm another one of your hosts. Actually, the other host. Blair Smith. If you can't tell, we have a slight crowd.
We do. We're growing. And we have the pleasure today of having a special guest on, somebody who I've known since I was 12 years old. Someone who has a wealth of knowledge and just a wealth of everything. It's great, wonderful. Someone who I knew we had to have on the podcast.
I can see that. So,
Right?
This is someone that I met 30 minutes ago, but I can already tell she is an intelligent
They have
person.
hit it off.
Wow.
They already.
No
One
doubt.
of my friends always hit it off. I love it. So this is Valarae Partey.
Party.
Partey. Okay, so I already messed up.
No. But we're in there.
We're in there. So Val, since you guys met, 30 minutes ago, how did me and you meet?
I don't know when we met. Was it 6th grade?
Yeah, 6th grade.
I don't have a specific memory of when I met you.
I
It's
don't
just
either. You
Enoch
just
was
weren't
just
memorable, were you?
he was just a super smart guy in 6th grade.
There we go.
I feel like most of my memories of you were from Ritz class. That's when we started hanging out.
That is true. Senior year, right? Of
Yeah.
high school.
Junior, senior year.
Senior, yep.
We had a really dope AP Calc, AP Physics teacher.
Shout out to Mr. Rip. I am an engineer right now. Are you an engineer because
I'm
of
an engineer because
We
of
are
Mr.
both
Rip.
engineers because of this teacher. Teachers, you
That's
change
why
lives.
I'm not an engineer.
He didn't have Mr. Rip.
It has nothing to do with he's terrible at physics. Nothing to do with it. Nothing. So it's really great.
Mommy
Okay.
always told me I could do what I put my mind to. Okay.
Well, Mama was wrong again. I'm sorry. That's my movie reference for today.
About
I
to
know.
say, when you
I
come
love.
home.
I know. His mom will kill me. I'm kidding. Please. I apologize to the mom today. Please, don't kill me. So we got a special topic today. Special topic. It's gonna be. I guess I want to say this is gonna be a field of study episode. Field of study episode. I like it for a
Makes
field
sense.
of study episode.
Okay.
So this one is men be tripping. She has a lot to say about the topic. I actually have a lot to say about the topic.
You do?
I actually do have.
What you got to say?
Well, I honestly do believe men be tripping. I feel like I am the antithesis to. I don't want to say most men, but at least the commonplace of how most men are perceived in society.
Okay.
So, but I want you to go first because I don't want to sit here and be just mansplaining things.
Exactly. We
so-
just talked about
We
it.
just talked about it. So,
I don't even really know what to say. It's just generally, men be tripping. Whether it be work or dating or I don't know. It's just, we got some things to work on, guys.
Okay. Because, Valarae, you're super smart. You're super beautiful. You're a super nice, sweet person. So it would, from my perspective, be obviously, it's easy for you to find a king out here. You're a queen. It should be easy. Again, I'm naive. So what has that been like for you?
Ooh. So I've been single for 7 years. It's been quite a while, guys. Anyways, I've in that time I've done a fair bit of dating, and there's 99% trash, and there's I'm sure there's 1% okay people out there, okay men. I don't know where the 1% is.
Okay.
But if you're out there, let me know.
Okay, so this is officially become a dating site. So her number is 4. I'm kidding. Okay, so where are you meeting the 99 at?
Ooh, so the 99 is probably a mixture of meeting out in person, just kind of walking around, sometimes at bars. Don't really recommend. Online dating.
Yep.
Also, not a ton of success with the Tinders and Hinges of the world. But,
You didn't try Bumble yet?
I tried Bumble for a day. And then
You got to give it longer than a day.
I tried it for a day and I hated it. I don't like having to talk first. I know, double standard, but I hate it.
That's where the 1% is. It's on Bumble.
But I tried Bumble and then accidentally subscribed for a year, and they charged me $60.
Oh, man.
And so I'm extra salty about that.
You got an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can just go to the App Store and just call them up and just get that charge removed.
That was a very long time ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I think I just took that L.
You took that L, okay.
Yeah.
I could take that L. So there's this comedian that I actually really love. His name is Clint Coley.
Okay.
He has a podcast called Advice from the F-Boy. I love his podcast.
Ooh.
But he has this very funny joke where he says that women have no game. So he says men have to have game. We have to be able to come up to you and on a moment's notice get your attention. It's either like ill or okay, I might give him my number. Like that's really the window we're playing with.
Yeah.
But he says if you flip that on his head and you have to have a woman come and like try to speak, they have none. So that's why Bumble really turns everything on its head. So she said I hated Bumble because I have to speak first. That's called game.
I can't even. I got game. I got some game. I got a little game. But no, that's awkward. It's awkward. Like I 100% give men credit who walk up to a complete stranger and try to, get to know them.
Can we rewind that one time? I 100%. What'd you say?
I do. I really do give men credit who have the courage enough to go up, knowing it's a 50-50 of rejection.
50,
that is
50.
not accurate.
99 to 1. 99 to 1. Okay.
It's like, okay, so it's not just rejection. It's like public rejection, though.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've shot my shot in public before. Hasn't really worked out before, but, I don't really want to do it. So I respect the men who try. To be fair, though, most of the men who approach me in public have been crazy, married, or something wild is going on. Normal guys do not approach me in public. So I feel like
that's actually a fair point.
The ones who are you're either courageous or crazy. And those are the ones who have just enough juice to walk up to a stranger and say something wild.
Okay. So
I actually have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So I feel like there's this imbalance in dating where a lot of times the guys that come up to you are the ones that have already gotten to the point where they don't really care, right? They're the dicks. Yeah. Okay? The dicks of the world have no problem with coming up to you because they don't care if it's a yes or a no, right? The assholes, right? But and I don't want to be like the nice guys because there are people that are kind and there are people that are nice, right? The nice guys, I'm not really including this. The people that are kind, they actually care about your opinions. They care about you. And sometimes that care is an inhibition of coming up and actually talking to you. Stuff like that. Because they're actually looking at you. They're taking into account what's going on in your life right now. And they're actually like weighing things, right? Versus the dick that's like, oh, she's hot. I'm going to go talk to her. I don't care what's going on in her life. I'm the important one right now.
Thoughts?
I mean, it's an interesting perspective. I guess you don't really know what other people are going through, but if there's someone that you're interested in, why not just shoot your shot? Unless it looks like they're clearly having a terrible day or like juggling a million things. I feel like that's more of an excuse, like that's more fear than anything.
Agreed. So the why not? We have more and more and more in the past decade and like a half gone into social media and into the internet. And that's where a lot of our relationships are formed and developed at this point. We have lost practice of getting face to face and actually having a decent conversation, getting to know each other.
That's true.
We've lost those skills. And when you take someone who doesn't have those social skills and you put them in the, well, I like what I see of you. You seem interesting, but I don't know how to tell you that in a way that is conducive to forming something that can grow into something more. All I can do is feel it.
Do you think like the women who you would approach would just like, I don't know, why is it what you just said wouldn't be enough? Like, I think you're interesting and you're really cute. You want to get coffee or something.
Well, how can I think you're interesting? It's literally, I'm just looking at you.
Or you look interesting. No, don't say that.
Don't.
But wait, there was something you just said. Like the way it was phrased, if someone walked up to me and said that, I'd be like, okay, here's my number.
Well, I'm also much more eloquent when I have a camera on me. So that was why. Okay. Ask your question again.
Okay. Oh, wait, what?
Ask your question so I can.
Like-
I had an answer going, and then Enoch spoke, and my mind went.
Like, why is it you can't say what you just said to a woman? You know, like just being yourself. Like, you look interesting, or
Well,
you seem interesting.
the thing is, I've said that to a lot of different girls, and that's not to say that. I mean, each one of them, I actually genuinely felt that way about, and a lot of times it goes nowhere. And at some point.
Mm-hmm. Is it like they don't respond in the moment, or like maybe you get the number and then it doesn't go somewhere?
It's the number and then goes nowhere.
Yeah, that
Right.
happens a lot.
Actually, yeah, I don't have a problem getting the number.
Exactly.
I actually really don't. I will say when I would say 75% when I work up the courage and I go speak to the woman, like I can have that charming 2 to 5 minutes, and then get the number. It's the after the number that becomes hard.
Yeah.
I feel like right now dating struggles with like the follow through.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe you'll text for a little bit and you know, it just stops out of nowhere. Or me, I work on this every day, but I'm really petty. And I don't know if I like
You gotta work on that
I
understanding.
literally work on not being petty every single day. But you know, if I'm going, you know, texting back and forth with someone and like they just don't respond or it's been a while and then they reach out, I'm like, I'm good. But like realistically, you could be the bigger person and respond, but like,
No, that's called game though, right? Okay, when they don't respond for a little while, and then they come at and you're like, you okay, but whatever, and then that's when they actually start pursuing you. Sorry, that's a tangent, but
I think I got something just hearing that.
Okay.
So, for me, I would consider myself not a nice guy, but an interested guy. So if I walk up to you,
I think you're a kind guy. That's the classification.
So when I'm saying interested,
curious about the difference.
So an interested guy versus an asshole. So when an asshole walks up to you and gets your number, you become his priority.
Mm-hmm.
You're his focus. Whereas for me, I got a career. I'm doing so many things on the side. It's not that I'm not interested in you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I got so many stuff other here. I have to bring you back to the forefront, and you're just not always going to be my focus. Which since you don't know me, we're trying to get to know each other. It seems like, okay, he's not that interested in me. So, but I just have so much other stuff. Whereas this asshole, he's going to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to text you good morning, beautiful every single day. And then turn around and, and
ghost.
Exactly.
Because he knows how to run the game.
He knows how to run the game. And he knows how to keep you interested. So the asshole's job is to keep you interested.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas my job is I'm trying to build something, but I'm also building his other stuff. And it's hard to have two hammers at the same time.
Look, I get that. You know, I too have a million things going on at once, but like it's really not that hard to reach out every now and then. That's my thing.
I don't disagree.
You know,
I don't disagree.
What do we always say?
You make time for the things that you
make
want.
time for the things that
See,
you
I didn't even know what y'all always say, but like that's it.
That is
she
it.
took it.
See, that is it. That's it. That is it.
It's true though. You know, if I'm interested in someone, I'll reach out.
Okay, look, I'm a doctor. I'm working at the hospital 6 days a week. That 7th day off, I make time for you. I make time for my family. I make time for everyone that I love.
See?
We have a whole podcast.
podcast. You know the other thing? So we get to the texting point, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think as adults, we've gotten afraid of opening up past a certain point. We've all been jaded, right?
Yes.
We have all been jaded, and there's a certain fear, right? There's a certain fear that kind of makes us hold back a little bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we need somebody else to step a little bit closer to us metaphorically before we can give them more. And a lot of times that doesn't happen, that step forward. And maybe it's because they don't recognize it. Maybe it's because they're afraid too. But we've been jaded enough at this point to where there's that fear there. It's like, do I need to open up to this person? Are they going to appreciate it? I don't know.
That's 100% accurate. I feel like I've said 100% like 4 times.
It's okay. Yeah, he's good. He's good.
That's so true. So like, okay, the last person that I went out with, they seemed like a really nice guy. Mm-hmm. It took a while for us to actually get out because we're both incredibly busy. Mm-hmm. But I called my best friend. I called Davin.
Hey, Davin. I know that.
And told her about it. I'm like, sis, he seems cool. I'm like scared though. Like, I don't know. The thought of like opening myself back up is scarier than staying single.
Mhm.
But like that's something I have to get past because like, you know, being hurt is not fun at all. And it's like,
but it's clearing though. No, it doesn't. To me, it clears my head. Like, okay, I know what not to look for. I know I can see my mistakes in terms of like the red flags that I overlooked.
So,
I got my red flags.
I don't know. Like, there are definitely red flags. And I learned several years ago, there's this women intuition that I've ignored. She is always right.
I want to let you know, that is the most magical thing on this earth. It's women intuition. Because y'all are right. I mean, y'all, mama intuition and women intuition be right. Like,
it is though. And I'll be in dating situations where it's like, well, or like, I know my gut is saying this, but like, he's cute, or like, we had a really good time. Every single time my gut was like, nah, sis, I got hurt. I got destroyed every single time.
See, I feel like anytime your initial response is, well, you just should say no.
It's never an initial response though. It's like, it's always something little. It's always something minor. And everything else about the person.
It's something that leak through.
Yeah. Everything else about the person seems together, but it's just like this one little feeling and it always falls apart.
So when a guy approaches you and he has that 2 minutes to get your number, you have to think that he's putting on not even the best version of himself, but the version of himself that he
thinks I'm gonna like.
Yes, that's what he's doing. So when you start seeing over time that version of himself that you like,
that mask,
it peels back, and then you start seeing who he really is. And so that first thing that comes through is like, oh, okay, that's actually the real him. Like really, that's actually the part that he can't play.
You know what? That's what I mean by nice. Right, a nice guy puts on a mask. They put on what they think that you like. Will make you accept them. Whereas the kind person, they're themselves. They're good at being themselves. Yeah, they're authentic and coming forward with who that is.
But I would say that the nice guy probably would start off as the kind guy, but when he was himself, his self got rejected.
I don't think anybody starts off as the nice guy. They become that after some jading.
Do you agree with that, Valarae, or no?
I mean, I don't know. What is a nice guy? Now you make me wonder if that even exists. If you approach me fake, that's just not okay. You know, you're not a nice guy. If you
I don't want to say it's fake. I don't want to say it's necessarily fake. It's guarded. It's protected.
So there's guarded, and then there's like not being genuine.
Because I don't want to say that it's not. This is the best version of myself that I want to show you. So it's not that this isn't me.
It's not done with bad intentions. That's the
here we go with bad intentions. Okay. Your intentions weren't bad. That didn't mean you didn't fuck up. Sorry.
Man,
no, we're fine.
Are we salty? My God. I didn't mean to do this. You said the trigger word. That was it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can bring up a story. I want to hear it.
No.
We want to know. That's why we're here.
No,
Tell us how men be tripping.
How do men be
tripping? Okay, give an example of a time. No names, please, because I might know them. And I don't want to think, oh, that's my best friend. Oh, he's tripping. But how did this guy, in your opinion, what did you expect him to do, and how was he tripping?
It's funny. You know the old school, like, this is like before we were born, the film that it's like little slides.
Yeah.
It's like my brain is just like going. I gotta pick one good one.
This is a whole scroll.
Trying to pick a good one. Where men be tripping. I don't even know where to start. Okay. So there was one guy we met. This is when I was living in Nashville. I had first moved out there, kind of freshly single, very naive, was not up on game. But, you know, we got along very well. He I don't want to give too much information away. They were in the armed services. And, you know, so they came down to Nashville every weekend and nothing seemed out of place here. 4 or 5 months into this, he falls off the face of the planet. I'm blocked on Facebook, Instagram, my number is blocked, literally out of nowhere. And so I'm hurt. This is my first time being ghosted, and I'm 100% of my feelings. I have some line sisters that are low-key detectives. And so we got on his Instagram.
Not low key about it.
High
Hard
key.
to take this.
High key. You got like the fake pages. And, you know, we ended up finding out he had a whole girlfriend. They had been dating for like 5 years. And it's like, how are you spending every weekend for 4 or 5 months with me if you got a whole girlfriend? Like, she didn't want one of your weekends? Men be tripping. And then a year later, tried to come back like, oh, my bad. Like, it was the bad intentions. I didn't mean to hurt you. It was just, you know, I liked you and then I didn't know what to do.
Okay, so I feel like in that scenario, there is no way he was like, that was his game to try to get you back. Yeah. There was no way that if I have a girlfriend and I'm with you, that you didn't have bad intentions. Right. So to me, good intentions are the subconscious intentions. The like, hey, I think you're cute. I want to see what's behind just a pretty face. Let's see how. That's a good intention.
Throwing out that line. All right.
So that's a good intention. It's not I got a girl on the side. Well, I got a girl, but
it's like, we were on again, off again, and we were off again when we met, but then we got on again.
If it was good intentions, he would have told you that.
Yeah.
That's what, like I said, transparency to me is really good intentions. Right. So like, hey, what do you actually want out of the person? I don't think people get mad or even get hurt when the entire situation is laid on the table. So if a married guy approached you and said, hey, I'm married, I have a wife, and then you decided to still,
that's it. If I have all the information, I can make an informed decision.
Yeah. Exactly.
But people don't do that. People are not transparent at all. But I don't know. Yeah. It's mostly true. True. Yeah. There are transparent people in the world. People that are real straightforward and direct. But
I used to be that way.
You used to be that way. What happened?
A girl.
That's what happened. She tripped me.
She did. Yeah.
And then he was a guy that be tripping?
Yeah. Nice. That's well played.
Okay. Have y'all been lumped in the guys be tripping before?
So I can say for me personally, I'm not always the most consistent person in terms of like constant communication. So I can say that usually majority of my relationships break down because I can't be as consistent that she wants. Now, in my mind, in my intentions, my heart of hearts, I'm building up this thing that if me and you work out, it's for us. So it's like I'm doing all this over here for us, slightly because I'm saying she might not work out. So then this is just for me at that point, or it's for whoever my future wife is. So that's what I'm really building. Are you my future wife? I don't know. So sometimes that does get in my way of being consistent. Now, I can say that if, again, looking at things that if I really do like you, I will be more consistent. But still, for me, that's probably my biggest thing. But it's not that I don't have, like I said, I'm not trying to seem like some holy grail of God, but I don't really play girls. Like, I try to be transparent. I try to tell you what I want. Like I said, I lay myself out here. Like, either you like me or you don't like me. Like, that's why I like deal with. That's why, when the times of girls be tripping, like, to me, it's like I laid out who I was and you played with that.
Yeah.
And tried to like pick off the pieces that you wanted to, instead of like just dealing with me as a whole.
Yeah. My grandpa gave me dating advice when we were very young. And it's like, if you enter a relationship hoping to change even one thing about somebody, it's not going to work. They're not going to change it. Like, you just got to appreciate the whole package.
It's ironic that you say that. There's a psychologist named John Gottman that's done a ton of research on relationships. And there's a certain percentage of like personality traits or attributes that they're going to annoy the shit out of you. Right? And he's like, these are basically the reasons for your fights. And there's a certain amount, like, I think it was like 30 or 40% that they're not going to change, right? And so at some point, you just have to love this person. Right? So you like because you love this fight.
So there's this, I can't remember the movie, but it's not a good movie. But it's not.
It's one of those movies that was geared around.
We have this thing that, why do movies get made? Like, when you have to see a terrible movie, and you're like, why did that movie get made? There is one line in that movie that the entire script was made because of that one line. That line is gold. Yep. The rest of the hour and a half is trash.
Oogway level.
Exactly. Right? He loves Kung Fu Panda and Oogway. But there's this one movie I saw on Netflix where this couple is about to get married, and like this old guy gives advice. And he says, you like someone because meaning that I like you because you're cute, you're kind, you're this and that. But you love someone despite. So I love you despite that you can annoy the shit out of me. I love you despite that you know my weaknesses. I love you that you know despite you know what buttons to push on me.
That's so sweet.
It is. It was just like I said.
I said it again.
It's okay.
It was that one line in the movie that just like it resonated with me.
That's cute.
So you love despite.
And why is it cute? Why is it sweet? Because it's what you really need. That's like a soul deep need.
Yeah.
Because you need somebody to love you despite your flaws
Yeah.
or what you perceive as your flaws.
Right.
You know, but
Yes.
when it's about liking
What we
somebody,
perceive as
your
them,
flaws,
yeah.
And when it's like,
Perception.
exactly. And when we're in the liking stage, I just need you to like me because I'm handsome. You know, I need you like because I got muscles. Like I need you to build
did
an
you see
ego.
me shirtless?
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly. I want to hear about my flaws right now. Let's put those to the side.
Look at the other nipple. Sorry.
That was nice.
Oh my God.
That was nice. That was really nice.
I feel like you were thinking of an example.
There's actually one more thing I wanted to say, but I feel like
Go
we were
for
talking
it.
about it like 20 minutes ago. It was one reason that I feel like relationships come to a stall sometimes. I think that's because we have a history of someone that was everything that we wanted. I know I do. I think about it right now, right? Had that connection, the one, we were just listening to the first podcast, by the way. It's kind of anyways. It was like there can be a room full of people, but in my case, you and her, you know exactly what you're thinking with just a glance, with just subtle things that other people don't notice. And it's because you have that. You have that between you. And it's terrifying when that ends and you're trying to build that with someone else, because there's no way that you're not comparing whatever new relationship you're building with that one that you had previously that was amazing and seemed like it had moments of being perfect.
I don't feel like I've ever experienced that.
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's like, so I've met great guys.
Mm-hmm.
I've dated great guys. But I don't feel like I've ever been with someone I'm like, yep, this is it. Like, this is the person. Or even if I did, it probably lasted a week and then something happened.
Well, and that's part of why I say moments, because it may not, just because a thing is beautiful, just because a thing doesn't last doesn't mean it's, okay.
Oh, Age of Ultron?
Yes.
Just because a thing doesn't last doesn't mean it wasn't beautiful.
Yes. One of the most beautiful lines I've ever heard, because my relationship did not last, but it was full of beauty.
And maybe it's...
That's really nice.
I'm
sorry.
Oh.
It's okay.
It is.
It is.
I've been in some like comfortable relationships, but...
And maybe it's more so like, I think a lot of people think about like, because you hear like old people say, oh, when I met this person, I knew that was going to be my wife. Or that could be true. But that's not, I don't know if that's true for every one of us. So it might get to the case where it's just literally one day it just hits you. You're with this person and it's just like, oh, wow. Like, I can't imagine life without you right now in my life. And so it just hits you. So it wasn't like I saw you and I was like, okay, I knew you were going to be my husband. But it's just like that moment hits you. And honestly, you might already be married to the dude when that moment hits you. Like, it's like, okay, wow. Like,
this was a good decision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's
I did good.
I did good. Like, and it might be and it's probably going to be something little, something that's intangible, something that makes sense to nobody else on this planet but you. And that's the beauty in it, in that moment.
I don't know. So, like, this conversation makes me think of one person, but, like, I would have never dated them, seriously. But, like, all these feelings, like, I definitely had those feelings with him.
All right, we got to dive down in that one.
But, like...
Why would you never have dated him? I definitely know this person.
It's like, no, you don't.
I don't, okay.
It's like and I doubt he would ever watch. It's like
You don't know audience.
You're right. Tune in. I'm not shallow, but
okay.
but it's like okay, so part of the reason they weren't what I like, I don't know. It's
You weren't attracted to them?
I mean,
that was not it.
The attraction came eventually. Initially, no.
Gotcha.
That's
interesting.
And it's like I know my grandpa would have not approved of him, and that's like it's really weird. But like I hold his standards probably
Makes
too
a
high.
ton of sense.
First of all,
but it's like
weird,
you know, we got along really well, but yeah, like my grandpa would have been like, nah, this not it. And so I don't think I ever really welcomed the idea of a serious relationship with him, even though we had all those great feelings. And it's like, dang, you know, across the room, we here, you know?
Yes.
But
I mean, that's real though. I mean, I know like literally when I start dating someone, like literally within like the first few days, I'm like, it's my mom and my sister. They're like my big, like, it's like, would you fit in with my mom and my sister? And if the answer is no, at that point, if I continue on, I'm like, this is just play.
Yeah.
And if I don't continue, I'm like, oh wow, you will fit in with my mom and sister. Like, wait, now I'm probably a little scared at this point.
Yeah. You know the funny thing though, after that guy was in Nashville. A lot happened in Nashville. Anyways, when I moved down here, I had a conversation with my grandpa. I was like, you know, like what would you do if I brought someone home when you weren't feeling him? And he was just kind of like, I mean, if you love him, it's fine. And I was like, shit. But
okay.
He says that, but I don't know. He also said he doesn't see me married, which hurt my feelings. But Grandpa will talk about that later.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really nice though that you hold his opinion to such high esteem. That means he was a great grandpa. It's good job, you know.
That's
I do love that. Yeah. So, but I honestly think that when people love you, like truly love you, if they see that this person is making you happy, that's going to make them love that person. Because that's all you care about, really, is the happiness of the person. So don't put something onto your grandpa. Give him the chance, you know, give him a chance to make an informed decision.
I mean, it's too late. That ship has sailed.
We're not saying with this dude. I'm just saying in general.
Ships come back.
I mean,
ships come back. Ships sink. You know?
Ships, all of the above. Ships get rebuilt.
They find icebergs. You know, all that stuff.
Man. So we definitely want to ask Valarae before we go on our next segment. Is there anything that she would like to add to her opinion?
It's more like a question to y'all, because I feel like when I look back at my dating life, the biggest thing it comes down to is honesty. And I think that's where the men be tripping thing is probably biggest for me. It's just it just doesn't seem to be any honesty in dating. So I'm just curious as men if that's your experience, if y'all see that also from women, or I don't know, what are y'all thoughts?
Okay. So we are all on different paths in our lives. That's where I would start that off at. There are times when we aren't honest because we haven't come to accept ourselves or love ourselves, right? I've seen this in myself, and I've seen this in some of the girls that I've tried to date, right? Where like, you know, you got that flirting going on, it feels good and everything, and then it's like something happens that threw it way off, and then months pass, right? and then like some of the truth comes out, like what actually happened that threw all that off. And the thing that I come back to is, you know, we've all got our own shit, you know. There's a time that I think that each of us can kind of come through that and actually get back to being who we are. But I think that's it. Is a lot of us in this dating scene are dating before we're actually ready to date, because I don't think anybody should be dating when they don't know who they are, they don't accept or love who they are.
So none of us should be dating.
None of us. Least of all me right now.
Yeah, but no, that's a fair point. Fair point.
That's real.
That's real.
I've been there.
I will say that I think women are more honest than men are. Because I think what women do better than men is they ask the question that needs to be asked of
Mhm.
themselves, of a man and stuff like that. And I feel like
We got a salty face in the
Yeah,
background.
but see, okay, so I feel like what men want to do more often than not is we want to do what we want to do.
Yes.
And so we lie because we know we want to do it. And we know that the woman is going to ask that question that's going to make us like, oh, God, we got to reconsider this. So instead of giving our honesty to you, we lie so you won't ask that question.
I ask the question anyways and still get lies.
Well, and that's the point.
Then that's the point, though. So it's like at least now you're not asking the question that's going to make us change our mentality, change what we wanted to do anyways. Like I said, if I'm a married guy and I want to get with you, I want to get with you. So I'm like, the lie, you're going to ask that question about the wife and all this stuff if I give you that I'm married.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not supporting homewreckers or don't do it.
Karma is real.
But not even for the woman. I actually call the homewrecker the person who is allowing the home to be wrecked.
Right.
All parties are involved. All
Yes.
knowledgeable parties are involved.
All parties, but maybe a little bit more of that burden is on the person who stepped.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
That's
there we go.
That's what our opinion is.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that to say that like he doesn't want to give you that marriage. And so he creates a lie of being single in order to still get with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you might ask the question about like him having a relationship, but it's like there's a difference between me having a girlfriend and me having a wife. Because a wife might need kids, household, share bank accounts. Like this is hey, this woman might come for me in the middle of the night. Like she might be crazy. Like I mean, because this is a man they gave I do's for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like so that's a whole different level than a girlfriend. Like I would rather be cheating on a person. I mean, I would rather a person be cheating. Like, I would rather, let me say this right. I would rather be dealing with someone who has a boyfriend than dealing with someone who has a husband. Like, if I had to have two options, because I feel like the husband is going to be a lot crazier over his wife than the boyfriend is over his girlfriend.
Take all those options off the table.
Yes, I don't want any of those options.
Date single people.
Yeah. But that's my analogy for, like, honesty versus...
Even if they're in a broken relationship or, like, the relationship
The
that they're
broken
not getting
relationship.
what they need out of it.
Then leave
they
it.
deserve-
Because if you're in a broken
I'm playing devil's
relationship,
advocate.
if you're in a broken relationship and dating, you've got a lot to figure out for yourself before you're ready to hop into anything else. Like if you're staying in a broken relationship and trying to date, that doesn't even make sense.
I think that goes back to knowing who you are.
Yeah.
That's very real.
And I'll say there was I've not always been perfect in dating. There's probably a couple broken hearts out there. So sorry. But it's because I was like trying to figure myself out and figure out what I wanted in the dating world. And, maybe I thought one thing and, maybe I just wanted free dinner. I don't know. There's
free dinner and drinks.
There was definitely
dinner will get you in trouble.
There was definitely a time in my life that I'm like, I'll go get breakfast with you and then dinner with you. But I was just trying to
are your intentions in the right place?
Figure out what I wanted.
Right.
See, and at that point, actually at every point in dating, I feel like I've been like transparent and like upfront with people. So it's not like, oh, hey, I'm going out with you because I want to build something serious. This was a long time ago, for the record. But I'd be like, I'm dating, you're someone that I'm talking to right now. Mm-hmm. Like making it clear, you're not the only person I'm dating.
Well, that's good. Okay.
I want you to have proper expectations. I do what I expect from people, which doesn't always work out, but I at least try to be transparent.
Gotcha.
There's two things that I want to say, and then we can move on.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it, buddy.
Segment. So one is the 80-20 rule, right? We talked about this. I think you say that a lot better than I do, so I want you to say it.
80-20 rule.
Come on, Tyler Perry.
I got it from Tyler Perry. Why did I get married? So it's saying that in any relationship, you're only going to get 80% of what you actually want. Like, that's maximum. So when another person comes up to you and they have the 20% that you're not getting, they look very tempting. But then you trade those two, and now you realize you only have 20% of what you actually wanted. And it's like, who wants to trade 80% for 20%? So, but it seems very tempting when you're not getting that 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, yes.
The perspective changes depending on your situation. Were you going to say something?
I have a question,
Okay.
No lie, I feel like I'm looking for 100%, and that's probably part of the reason that I'm still single.
Well, don't never settle.
Is it?
Don't
like
ever
I also
settle.
would never.
We do not support settling.
Don't settle.
Ladies, don't settle. ladies and men, don't settle.
Don't settle.
But it's like at the same time I'm wondering, am I setting up unrealistic expectations, looking for 100% or looking for my match or equivalent?
I believe that person who's for you, they're at, when you meet them, they only got the 80%. But I feel like when they're for you, they're gonna go get that 20% to make you happy.
Oh.
Ooh. Ow!
Burn.
That was good.
That was good. And that's it.
That's it. So find the guy who's willing to go get that 20% to make you happy.
That's so
There you
sweet.
Yeah. I'm actually a heartless, hopeless, romantic.
Hopeless.
That's
hopeless,
so
yeah.
precious.
Yes.
Mm.
Good stuff.
Was that your second thing?
No.
Or you said
Oh,
second?
sorry.
That's the second
Last
thing.
thing is men be tripping. But we all be tripping.
Yeah.
We
very
all
true.
be tripping.
That's very true.
And that's the point is we can point out all of the things that other people are doing wrong. Sometimes it's hard to kind of point the finger back at ourselves and really look at what we're doing, what we can improve ourselves on.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's what I want to leave that with.
Very fair.
Work on yourself too.
Mm.
I like that nugget.
I do like that. Okay. Next segment for this one is obviously my favorite segment. As a film writer, Be Real Entertainment, shameless plug. Something related to a film. So I'm thinking for this episode, we should all think of a film or a television show that showcases a time where the male character, one of them, was tripping. Okay, you already got it. You ready?
No, I just binge watched this. Did y'all see that?
Oh,
I've seen
no!
it, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. No, I want to hear it. I want to hear this one.
You haven't heard of it?
No, I know you. Yeah. No,
Oh.
just I want to hear your perspective.
Do I need to elaborate?
Yes.
I've avoided the second season of this
Yeah.
one.
It's wild. Man, this guy, he really be tripping. It's like he has a pathological need to like try to get women to fall in love with him. Even women who, might not be his type, he'll try to change himself. He'll try to change the people around the woman to try to fit to his mold. And when he actually gets what he wants, you see that that's still not enough. So like, he definitely be tripping. He just likes to chase, and he likes to murder people. He be tripping.
You be tripping. Okay.
That's a deeper kind of tripping though.
That is, he got a whole
that was an easy
whole
one.
podcast.
A whole podcast
for that one. Do you have your example, Blair, or would you want me to go first?
I mean, I can throw it out. I'd rather you go first.
Okay. I'll go first. I'm gonna go Malik / Omar Epps from Love and Basketball. So first of all, I love his character. I do love his character. I love that movie. I found myself more so relating to Monica's story than anybody else's in that movie, but because she's so busy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like trying to gain the starting position in college. She's trying to gain all this stuff that pretty much because of who he is. I mean, he's a great basketball. It was given to him.
Yeah.
So, but he has tragedy strike his life. And this has been the one person who you've always been able to depend on since you were a kid. And literally, she's the first person you rush out to go hurt when tragedy hits you. And I was like, this was the person who was literally always your rock. She should have been the person who, and like I said, you can say that she should have had made more time for him and all that kind of stuff, but she thought that if anybody was going to understand I don't have time, it's going to be another person who, we both play basketball.
Yeah.
You know how much this takes.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, he was tripping in that he couldn't get out of his own feelings to realize what he was trying to build with her. I do appreciate that he let her go and he didn't like drag her down into his spiraling tragedy that was going to lead to him not making a series of unsuccessful decisions. So I do appreciate that. But to me, she should have been the person that he supported. He was right there with her. Like, they should have been there.
Mm-hmm.
He was tripping in that moment.
I agree.
It's on you, Blair.
Okay.
You got to wrap it up, man.
Mine is a little bit different.
I love it. Go for it.
Limitless.
Ooh.
Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
He's cute. Sorry.
All right.
Bradley Cooper.
Shirt on or shirt off. Either way.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just come
We'll
through
take
the
what
door.
we can get, man. Okay. So my thing about Bradley Cooper, actually, there's a whole bunch that I want to upload in this film real quick. Okay. So in the beginning, we have Bradley Cooper, who's like going through a writer's block, and a writer's block that's like changing who he is, right? Changing how he perceives himself and his inadequacies and whatnot, and all of that kind of makes him lose sight of what he has with her, right? In this relationship, like she's a catch. I don't know if you've seen.
No,
her,
I've seen Linda.
She's
a boss.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, like everything that she's doing, like she's developing herself, right? Everything is.
She was honestly too good for him, but yes.
Honestly,
even when he gets the pill and he's amazing, she's still
too good.
Slightly too good.
Well, it's because he needed the pill.
Oh, fair.
And actually, that's my point. Is he was enough in the beginning, and but there was nothing that she. Were you gonna say something?
No, I wasn't.
There was nothing that she could do or say or whatever to get him to that point. That was within him, right? Now that pill made him. It brought out sides of him that maybe he had lost touch of, right? They were never not there.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion.
Well, no, he was always a genius. It was just dormant at the beginning of the movie.
Right. Although the makers of Limitless would argue that. But I'm just going to say, you can't bring out parts of yourself that aren't there.
Yeah. He was only bringing out stuff that he had already read. So he had to be there, had to be in the moment, have the knowledge already there.
Exactly.
The pill just brought it out.
Exactly. And, you know, when with this pill, he became this person that was charismatic and started to actually, like, being better than he was previously, right? And, I mean, she notices it, and then she comes back. And then knowing that he's taking the pill is kind of it almost drives her away. But then I don't know whether he's into taking the pill or not at the end is kind of up for I'm not sure.
Oh no, well, he was saying he developed, or at least that's how I interpret it.
But my point is, what caused that relationship to fall apart in the beginning was him tripping. It wasn't him stepping out or anything. At least not on her. It was him stepping out on himself. That's what I'm gonna say, right?
Well, you always step out on yourself before you step out on your partner.
There you go.
That's true.
Yeah, and then go.
I was gonna say because you said when you started taking the pill, he became more charismatic. Did he become more charismatic because the pill allowed him to see who he was? Like, and it's all actually like, so I gained confidence because I gained the intelligence of who I was.
Yeah.
I think it was the confidence, yeah.
I will not argue that.
Okay.
This is something that I've seen within myself and within other relationships, and I see that in that movie as well. That breakup scene, right? He's like, but I love you. Some relationships are not serving either party. And yet, it's because I love you that we're staying together or whatever.
True love, though, is being able to let it go.
Right.
If you're not serving the other person, let it go.
No doubt. I guess my point is, you shouldn't be with someone. This is where I get kind of, I don't know. Okay, so you shouldn't be with someone just because they love you. First off, you have to. If that love isn't helping develop who you are, then it's not enough.
Well, at the end of the day, being with someone is more than just loving them.
Right.
They should be elevating you. You should be like, again, I'm here. When I'm with you, I'm here. If I'm already here when I'm with you and before I was already here, what are we doing?
Exactly.
Like, I can be bad all by myself. Like, I mean, it's really that another Tyler Perry movie, right?
Right, what's going on?
Tyler Perry.
Perfect.
And my other argument for that would be, if you aren't being elevated in a relationship, both parties, then there is no love. There's something else there that is perceived as love, but it's not really there.
There's sex. It's just sex.
Fair.
We all have needs.
Yes.
Well, don't call it a relationship. Call it what it is. This is a business transaction, okay? That's what this is.
I need cuddles.
Exactly. That's funny.
Yeah.
So
Never mind.
Go for
I
it.
was talking about that specific example. I would like a relationship, not just couples and sex.
Yes.
Got you.
But
I feel you.
Again, her number is 404. I'm kidding.
She only got 3 digits. It's 404.
404. That's it.
Oh, that's funny. So I guess it brings us the last part of the
segment.
podcast. So when we have a guest on, we make it unfair. Where we say that you have to tell us what you learned about each of us that you didn't know before this podcast.
Should be easy for me.
It's
Yeah.
easy for
him.
him, yeah. But for me, I don't know.
Oh, I got it. I'm gonna do Enoch first.
What? No, you gotta do me first. His should be like profound. I'm just like basic.
So, okay. For Blair, super smart. You're not you said you're a general
Internal medicine.
but I'm really getting some strong psychology vibes. And like that's how he picks apart a lot of the way he sees things, like from a psychological perspective, from what I can tell. I don't know how accurate that is.
No,
I appreciate your viewpoint.
He does.
Eni.
Oh man, well,
You remember that?
That's the first thing. Yeah, people they didn't know that people call me Eni.
That is the first one.
They do now. It's fine. I actually love that name.
Is a romantic. I never knew that. And he's got like such a soft heart. It's so cute. I didn't know that.
I'm a solid romantic. If you look at any of my scripts, the thread that holds them all together is a love story. It's every single time. If it's a scary movie, if it's a comedy, if it's going to be the love story there. Because to me, that's always what pushes the story forward. It's like literally you start making decisions when you find those people you want to make the decision for. So the love doesn't have to be like romantic love, but it could be like the friendship love. It could be the parent love. It could be, that pushes everything along for me. So
yeah.
I know.
He's a softie.
I
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought, It's okay. I love it though. I embrace it. It's who I am.
You should.
So that's great. Thank you, Valarae.
All right.
Thank you for
You are
being here.
welcome.
You were fantastic.
What did y'all learn about me? Is that a normal thing guests do? I did it.
Just dropped. Okay, what you learned about Valarae? It's easy for you.
Yeah. You say that I come things from a psychological viewpoint. I think that you do to a certain degree as well. And honestly, I think that anyone that is intelligent comes at it from that point. And kind of like I said at the beginning of this, I could tell just from the 30-minute interaction that we had before filming all this that you're an intelligent person.
Very much so.
Bringing back up African queens, that's I got you.
Nice, Blair. You won some fans on that one.
He did.
You won some fans on that one. You did.
He did.
Let me see. I guess what I learned from you is that you're a realist who wants slightly deep down a little bit. You want to be optimist. You want to be optimist. You want to believe everything that we've said on this podcast. You want to believe it's true. Life has taught you that it seldom is true. So you are the realist, but you want to be that optimist.
That's accurate.
You want to be it. And I was like, okay.
That's it. Yep.
That's it. Don't worry. Okay, so her
me.
number's 404. We need that guy to come to give her to give that optimism back.
Yes.
And you'll get it. You deserve it. You're like you said. He said it best. African queen.
Thanks, guys.
It was a pleasure to have you on.
This was fun.
This is fun. So, thank you for tuning into this episode of Breaking and Entering. As always, I'm Enoch.
I'm Blair.
And
I hope you had as much fun as we did. I had a ton of fun.
I had a ton
This was fun.
with this dynamic.
And this is Valarae Party.
Party.
And we will see you next time.